This offensive tackle class is good. It's deep. It's going to be special. I really like this class, and I'm going to give you my top 10 offensive tackles for, well, I guess offensive tackle prospects for the 2021 NFL Draft. And if you want to see my full rankings on offensive tackles, you go to FTFN. It is the link in the description, and it's the pinned comment. I say this all the time, man. Go check out the full rankings. Do yourself a favor. But I'm about to give you my top 10. But before we do that, you already know what's crack-a-lackin'. It's your boy Broshmo. Just in case you did not know, so go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the video. It really helps the channel out a ton, and I really hope you would do that. I pump out a ton of draft content throughout the whole week. So, yip, hooray. Working on a podcast. It'll come someday, I'm sure. If you have the Flick Sports app, then cool. I got something to say to you. If you don't, then cool. I have something to say to you. Go download it. It's basically sports Discord. I'm on there at Never Too Early Draft. You can join that group. It's in the link in the description. Basically, like I said, it's Draft Discord. Come chat with me and other people. I'm going to be better about talking in there. But for the most part, just get a bunch of guys that are as crazy about the draft as I am. Just discussing. It's real fun. And yeah, I guess without further ado, let's take a look at this tackle class. I will admit to two things here. One, offensive line evaluation is my weakest because it's the one I'm most unfamiliar with. If you couldn't tell, I didn't play offensive line. So it was something that took me a lot of reading, studying, and learning. And even then, I just kind of rely on analytics when it comes to that. I'm a sucker for athleticism. It is what it is. And then two, I already forgot about two, so it's probably not important. So two. There's really just one new name. Not much changed on the list thus far. So let's get into it. Jalen Mayfield out of Michigan. Yes. Oh, yes. He is here at 10. I know some of y'all may be hot and bothered. You're like, what? That guy's a first-round talent, and I got him in the third round. Well, I ain't sipping the Kool-Aid. I don't know why you are right now, because I get it. You like the athleticism. I love athleticism. You like the size. Size is good, especially with athleticism. This is where I fall off the wagon, though. The guy has 1 year starting experience. It's at right tackle. That means a lot in college football, because typically in college football, the best pass rushers are put on the left side. That's why the left tackle is typically the best offensive lineman on the line. Well, at least best tackle on the team. That's typically how it works in college football. In the NFL, the defenses, they're a bit more complex and a bit more sneaky. Not in college football. Typically, so this guy was facing probably the second, maybe even third in some cases, best pass rusher on the team. Number two, why I'm not sipping the Kool-Aid just yet. Again, 1 year of experience, and he was extremely inconsistent. Everyone and their mom points to, well, he played Chase Young very well. Well, what did I just talk about? Chase Young, they only faced off in a couple of snaps. Chase Young was mainly coming from the left. Let's go back to that game. Let's go into the time machine. All right, Doc, let's go. Okay, Marty. And I don't know why I gave Doc Marty's voice, but geez. But he gave up, what was it? I have it right here. 7 pressures in that game. He did well against Chase Young. He sucked against the rest of the Ohio State team. Don't give me that nonsense. This guy is unproven. He really needed another year to prove consistency based on the size, based on the athleticism. I don't feel comfortable with him any higher than a third-round grade right now. We cool? Cool. Let's go to number 9. Abraham Lucas out of Washington State. And thanks to Mike Leach's air raid offense, which he won't be playing in this year, he's seen the most true pass sets of any other tackle in this class. and he's done a real good job. It's a big reason why we saw Andre Dillard go in the first round, because he was very good as a pass blocker, as a pass protector, and he saw a ton of true pass sets. This guy, Lucas, very athletic. At times he plays too high for his own good, and a lot of that is because the dude's 6'7", so he gets out leveraged. So that's something that it's not going to go away. It's something he needs to work on. He needs to train, because at that height, it's tough. It's tough to try to play low and not let those guys get underneath you, being at that size. So it's something he's really, really going to have to be like disciplined about. His length, though, dude's got very good length. And like I said, the shorter pass rushers typically get the best of him. Not always. Like I said, this guy's very, very solid. And again, being so battle tested, thanks to Mike Leach. Yeah, I think there's no way this guy falls out of day 2. So yeah, there we go. Jackson Carman here for Clemson. This guy that might be a fast ride. I might throw him back in the first round. I had him early in my my prospect, I guess my evaluation process as a first rounder, and I kind of reeled back on that watching some things, because this is a guy that was pretty slow out of his stance against pass protection or in pass protection, and you can't have that. You need to be the first guy out of your stance. You're gonna get bent around, not literally, like edge rushers are gonna bend around you to the quarterback. Sorry, I felt like I had to elaborate on that because it sounded kind of dirty. But yeah, you love the athletic physical upside, especially for a guy his size, 6'5", 345. Pretty ridiculous. He had, again, I said this earlier in these rankings, in one of these offensive lineman ranking videos. He had a good game against Chase Young because he was the measuring stick. Ain't that right, Jalen Mayfield? He is the measuring stick. He had a good game in the College Football National Championship. Playoff game. I was like, hold up. In the playoff game against Ohio State, he did very well. But again, this is something he's looked much better in this season. He's been very, very good for Clemson thus far this season. We'll see if that's something that continues down the stretch. And like I said, a guy that could definitely sneak into the first round. And then I got my boy Rashawn Slater out of Northwestern, a guy that was a bit of a dark horse for me because I think this guy does have first round potential. A lot of people want to knock his arm length and be like, oh, he's probably better suited sliding into guard. The guy's played so well, whether it was on the right side or the left side. And guess what? Left side, man, first year last year, picked up his game on true pass sets. He had the lowest pressure rate of any tackle in 2019. So you got the experience on the right side and the left side. Let's pull out the measuring stick here again. He played Chase Young pretty well. I mean, it was kind of a give and take because Chase Young, you can only shut down Chase Young for so long, but I thought he did very well aside from a handful of sets. But again, length, that's going to be the issue with him. I really wish he didn't opt out. He's not going to play this season, so I don't think he will even sniff the first round because of that. So I think he's kind of cemented as a day 2 guy. And then we have Walker Little, man, out of Stanford. He's going to be able to play, thank goodness. And as far as I've seen, he's not opted out. Because I think he really does need this year to prove he is a first-round guy. I got a second-round grade on him. If you're not new to the channel, you know I was kind of in the move to guard. That was kind of my stance when it came to Walker Little. But like kind of watching him further and like going back to like the last bit of 2018 and then going back to the Northwestern game in 2019, he was getting much better as a pass protector. Because for me, I worried about his athleticism. Because I think he's a good, not great athlete. That was something I was worried about because I'm a sucker for athleticism. I'm sorry, I can't help it. But in times he would play too high, another 6'7" guy. But he really started to look much better. And then the injury hit. Injury is going to be a big red flag for some teams. But I'm really, really, really happy that he's going to be able to play this year. I think he really does need this year to prove he's a first rounder. So yeah, Walker Little, man, good luck to you. Dominant run blocker, by the way. BT dubs. But before we get into the top 5, go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. If you don't find that your guy's on the list, guess what? You go to FTFN. You could check out my full rankings there. If he's not on this list, he's probably there. And if he's not there, I have yet to evaluate him yet. Why do I come off so angry when I say that? I say it in every video. It is like the 3rd video I've recorded straight. That's probably why. I'm sorry. I'm sensitive. Number 5, Liam Echenberg out of Notre Dame. That Notre Dame offensive line, just delicious. They're great. That's a great offensive line. Thing with Echenberg, he's a limited athlete, but I think his feet have gotten very, very quick this year, and I think he kind of displayed that a bit last season. And I could tell you, I'm a sucker for an athlete. So when I look at a guy, not the best athlete, and I'm like, oh, that foot speed ain't half bad, then kudos to you. But typically you see guys that are not as athletic convert to guard in the NFL. You saw with Cody Ford, they what they should have done on the first place, Buffalo Bills. Should have never been playing right tackle. Should have been playing him at guard. Scoff. But Echenberg, dude, he's got great technique. He's a very sound technician. He's got a lot of experience there at left tackle. Again, being a limited athlete, it will be an uphill battle for him, but we've seen this before. This is the comp being thrown out there about him is Mitchell Schwartz, which is an excellent comp, another limited athlete that's just a phenomenal technician. So, and the way Echenberg has handled the ACC thus far, I think is really telling. So I have a second borderline first round grade on at Echenberg. From here on out, pure first round grades. And we're going to start with Vatek's own Christian Darrisaw. Dude is good. This is a guy that, because I'll go through PFF's their grading, and that's actually how I found his teammate Devin Taylor, and I looked more into him, and now he's not actually doing so well. So I don't know why I brought him up. But Darrisaw was a guy I was like, man, why is no one talking about this guy? He grades pretty well. Well, I guess I should really watch some of his stuff. And more so I was watching this season and I was like, wow, he's pretty darn good. Like, very smooth athlete. And you know me, athleticism. I've said it multiple times in this video. Love athleticism. Quick feet, great balance. And he's been a solid starter. I think this is his 3rd year as a starter for the Hokies. So what really, like, why aren't more people talking about him? I couldn't tell you why. I mean, it surprised me, and I really think this guy's gonna be. I think what says the most about it is, his lack. Like, the dude's only allowed 5 pressures, none resulted in sacks this season, and that's very telling when you have a mobile quarterback, and he does in Herbert. That's why everyone was talking about Ronnie Stanley last year. Because the dude, he only allowed, I think it was 6 pressures on the season with Lamar Jackson as quarterback. It's typically pretty tough to, like, when you're quarterback, you don't know if they're in the pocket, if they're on the outside. It's pretty tough to allow such a low pressure rate. And that's why, like, everyone was talking about, yeah, the best tackle in the league. And the same thing is with Darrisaw here. Like, I think right now he's playing like the best tackle in college football because Sewell ain't playing, so keep that in mind. You already know he's number 1. So that's something I really liked, that he's able to keep his pressures low despite having a very mobile quarterback in the backfield. So yeah, this guy, very good, very impressive. He's not like a kill switch blocker, not gonna like pancake people, but more so if you're gonna get in, like if you're gonna throw hands, you're gonna be stuck there a while because you only go when he says you go. You ain't gonna get a clean release. Samuel Cosme out of Texas. We talked about it with Lucas being one of the most battle tested in true pass sets. And if you don't know why I'm referencing true pass sets, typically that translates to success in the NFL. That's why. But he's right up there in terms of true pass sets. Guy's got he's very athletic. He's probably going to be ideal for like an outside zone blocking scheme, which is kind of the rage in the NFL now. So his athleticism is going to be very coveted. But he almost played 600 true pass sets last season. He's played a ton this year and done extremely well. Who would have thought? So probably a big knock on him is a lack of play strength, but that's something you could scheme around. That's why I kind of reference maybe an outside zone blocking scheme, something that kind of requires a lot of movement from the offensive line. So there you go. Alex Leatherwood here at number 2. He's top-notch pass protector. He's doing it again this year. His lone pressure last season, because he gave up 0 sacks, but his lone pressure last season was against Clevon Chason, who was a first rounder for the Jags. Just gonna put that out there. Dude's very athletic. He wasn't nearly as explosive as last year's class, but last year's class was very, very top heavy. Like those were very, very good tackles. One of my biggest things for him, or at least wanted to see in 2020, was him to be more dominant on snaps. But he has been keeping the penalties down. He only has 2 this season, so I'm really happy about that. He's my number 2. And then Penei, he's number 1. Everyone knows he's number 1. The guy, you'll hear it thrown around, generational tackle. That people are saying it because it's true. He's only allowed 1 sack over 706 pass blocking snaps. He just combined size, technique, athleticism. I'm drooling. I love athleticism. I mean, it's really hard to find any holes in this guy's game. He opted out. We already knew there was no reason for him to play this season either. Anyway, the guy's gonna be a top 5 pick. He's great. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know who you think should have been on this list or who you may have higher in your rankings. But as always, till next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.